things that shouldn't matter do matter. But that doesn't mean we get to act like they don't matter, right? I mean, it's kind of built right into there. And today's subject is actually the Halo effect, which has nothing to do with the excellent Bungie games, maybe formerly Bungie, but instead has become a sort of staple of psychology. It has to do with the idea that when we see someone who kind of presents themselves well and seems kind of put together in terms of, maybe I need a haircut, maybe I'm not dressed very nicely, then we read into that assumptions about whether or not they know what they're talking about. We read into that assumptions about whether or not we can trust what they have to say. And I mention this because so many of us, and I say us because I am among this crowd of people, come from a background of largely either software development or online communications or other things where we can wind up in these sort of pathways in life where we begin to feel like, it doesn't actually affect how I code my physical health. It doesn't actually affect how I finish projects. Whether or not I'm sleeping well, whether or not I'm eating well, whether or not I'm shaving or like I say, I probably could use a haircut. These little things can feel like they're kind of social cues, like they're cheating, like they're stupid, like we can see right through them. But the reality is they matter. And they matter not just to other people, but because they matter to other people, they really matter to the results we can achieve in life. And sometimes people use the halo effect as a case for why people who are maybe naturally on the attractive end of the spectrum have advantages in life. And it's unfortunate there's no easy answer around, like, that's probably a thing. But there's certainly a huge range within which how we deal with ourselves and our priorities in our life that we can be cognizant of the fact that, again, it just makes a difference as to whether or not we go out of our way to try to present ourselves in a way that's not going to lead to the wrong assumptions being made about whether or not we're capable of handling the task we're going to be taking on. That we're ready, that we are attentive, that we are put together, that people read into their visual cues or other cues in that way. And one reason I mention this, it's actually the last day, by the way, before I'm going to be sending out, literally later tonight, so hopefully you see this video soon, the next message to the GetYourselfToDoThings.com list mentions a technique that's pretty general, pretty grounded, some people can use to apply to improve their health, and it's the kind of thing that even if your health isn't your main priority, even if your profession is, even if your social life is, even if your creative outlets are, whatever they might be, the halo effect, or this idea like that, how we appear to others can have a direct impact on our ability to have people take our word for it or trust us or work with us on technical matters and social arena and creative outlets and so on. And it's not just about appealing to superficial people or anything kind of that easily dismissed. It really is that it has to do with, some people perceive it as respect for their time, some people perceive it as a sign that someone kind of has it together, and it can be such a little thing, such a simple, small thing in the scheme of things to pay attention to. I mean, if you even thought about, if you wanted to eat an apple, okay, have an apple in each hand, and I tell you that this apple came from that tree, and the tree is kind of pretty sickly looking with some sort of stuff growing out of it. Maybe it's kind of cracked and broken, just not in good looking shape for a tree. And over here I say, and here's another tree that this is when the apple came from, and it's just beaming, right? Just looks like you might, in your best imagination, imagine a tree ought to look for an apple tree. You're probably more likely to want to eat the one, even if the apples otherwise look similar, that came from the tree that looks kind of healthy, kind of alright, right? Not the one that, again, has kind of stuff going on that kind of distracts you, right? Same thing goes, certainly, when you go into a restaurant, even though what really matters is what's going on in the kitchen, where you usually can't see, we tend to read into things like the cleanliness of the area we first walk into to decide whether or not we trust the food and the service and other things that are going on in that place. So that's just really all it is that no matter what your main area of focus may be, I just recognize that even like 5%, 10% of our attention reallocated towards these other things in life which can be important to us can, in many ways, still feedback in a positive way that actually does help our careers, our networking connections, our creative progress, other kinds of things that we want to do because of the way that people read into that and make assumptions, just snap judgments. It's not like a conscious thing. It's not like they're stopping and telling themselves, because of this, I'm going to make that assumption. It's something that's very deeply subconscious, which means that it's potentially a missed opportunity in a way we don't even hear about. But anyway, so the tip going out later tonight for GetYourselfToDoThings.com. It really is not going out very long after this. Hopefully you're either on that list or catch the video soon. It's not just about health stuff. It's actually a generalizable technique. Like a lot of things on GetYourselfToDoThings.com can be applied to trying to pick up a new skill, can be applied to trying to get yourself to read more, whatever it is, but exercise more. working better or fall into some categories of what this next tip can connect to. So hopefully you're on the list in time for that. And otherwise, of course, you'll be there for when the next one goes out sometime later. It takes me about a week or two between each because I respond to every email. People reply back. So it takes a little extra time. It's not one of these things with an automated list. It's just hammering out messages. Again, this kind of personal engagement and interaction with a lot of people on that list. So that's awesome. Thanks everyone who's been involved with that and still taking part of it. But that's it for the day. It's just paying attention to realizing that things that shouldn't matter, logically, rationally, cognitively, just seem like they shouldn't matter, shouldn't impact our work, really will, in a way that, again, even if our priority is moving forward in what we do, what we build, what we craft, what we create, even a tiny bit of attention or investment back into how do I make sure I'm presenting myself in a way that's more receptive to others can lead to getting better results in the thing that is in fact our priority. Because things that shouldn't matter do, but it doesn't change that they really do. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have another video for you all tomorrow.